Hello and welcome everybody. We have the Global Lab patch notes for January 9th, 2026. There we go. Just had a mistake on the first recording. So we have some Nova changes. So on the Nova, the suction is being changed from the star rings and acceleration star rings. When two stars are within a certain range, they will now merge, leaving only one remaining. After the merge, they will apply a stronger pull effect to a wider area, and they will then return to their original state. In the second movement they mention, the star summoned will be changed to the one summoned in the direction of your character. So this translation and the visual, it feels like it's just going to be the orb that is closer to you will be the one that gets fused to. On the gravitational fusion, they also changed that absorbing even one star restores the life of the star's breath or nova, regardless of the number of stars absorbed. However, when using a skill, all summoned stars are absorbed as before. When absorbing a star, the amount of breath recovered has been changed from 7.5 to 15%, and the amount of HP recovered has been changed from 300 to 800. Then we have some general class modifications. So on Wizard, apparently there was an issue with the Honorable Arsha Godhorn would not move in battle stance. That is, I think that's probably the Arsha Godoride weapon. Then we have Kunoichi. They fixed an issue where the sound would appear awkward when playing instruments other than the beginner instruments. On Lan, a phenomenon of using evasion movement while continuously using the skill Gang Nomu while applying the effect of the Half Moon Dance has been fixed. On Nova Black Spirit, they fixed an issue where the summoned guards would behave abnormally when using the emergency evasion, so V technique skill, while using the Frozen Earth skill. Seraph on Flow, the issue with the skill activation according to the level of Unwavering Will was not smooth when left clicking while holding down the F key after using the Gap Price or Armor Crush has been improved. Accordingly, the Gap Price Armor Crushing has been changed so that Goyen's Greatsword basic attack that is activated in place by left clicking will not be activated while using it. Then on Seraph, even when Firm Will 2 is activated, the combo after Dig and Stab, Twist and Pull has been changed to be used first. Then they fixed an issue where linking skills after Covenant Mark of Purification or Judgment were not smoothly connected while Unwavering Will 2 was activated. Then an issue where the attack speed increase effect of the skill Steadfast Will was applied at full capacity immediately when using the Digging and Stabbing or Digging and Slashing skills has been fixed. Then there was an issue with the after shoulder strike combo. Smash has been modified to activate slightly better. They fixed an issue where you could not switch to combat stance without equipping an awakening weapon. Then, when releasing the awakening weapon while activating Absolute Sin, the activation of Absolute Sin has been modified to be cancelled. They also fixed an issue where skills could not be used with skill slots while Sacred Oath or Absolute Sin was activated. Then there was an issue with Divine Power being consumed twice when using the skill Covenant, Judgment of Justice, Mark of Purification, Judgment of Justice, and Mark. Okay, wait. They're saying the skill twice. Oh, it's the Condemnation and the Covenant. Okay, in both cases. Accordingly, the Divine Power consumption of the Horizon Split, Horizon Slam, Dig and Push, and Judgment skills have been adjusted. Then we have the big highlight, the Alchemy Stone production, growth rework is coming a bit earlier. This was initially pushed back to 21st. Now it is being pulled forward a tiny bit. So the essences of the Feeble Sky, we now know it's supposed to be Ether in the end, and the full Ether essence will be released, so you can obtain 20 fragile Ether essences from defeating your Dark Rift bosses. With the addition of the Shadow Rift boss loot, all Shadow Rift bosses will respawn again on the maintenance, so do finish them before. If you haven't, it's free crons. The essence of the full sky can now be obtained through simple alchemy through multiple sources. So we have the first one, recipe 1, which includes 20 sharp black crystal fragments. Otherwise, you can also use 2 pieces of Okila crystals. These should be equal to, what was it, 100 million? Yeah, I think it was 100 million silver from an old moon vendor. Overall, if the sharps are not at max price, the sharps should be the cheaper option, while the pieces of Okila should be the more expensive one. Fully depends on your server and your availability of sharps. However, if you're running low on sharps, gathering is a good way with the Fairy's Breath to get them. Each crafting method can be mass-produced using Simple Alchemy using Blackstone Powder again. I absolutely hate that about Simple Alchemy. I really hope that changes one day, but it's probably never going to happen. There are 3 uses for the full Ether Essence. So the first use is for the Growth Attempt. The second use is to combine your Vels or Con Hearts with the Destruction, Guardian, or Life Alchemy Stones. And then also to take the Alchemy Stones apart again. So there's 3 uses for that. Here we can also see the example of the Vel Heart. Vel Heart combination can only be done with the base Vel. However, you can take your improvement stones off the Vel with a Mirror of Equilibrium. You can then combine it with your crystal if it's resplendent or higher, and then put the buffs back on it, or the reform stones. There is also the mention that combined alchemy stones can be separated through simple alchemy. So again, oh wait, they actually changed it. It's no longer using the mirror. Oh no, wait, that's just the, okay, sorry. That is a simple alchemy to take it back apart. Using the essence of Full Sky, you can take your crystals back apart. That was already the case last time. Separation being the same. If you have the upgrade, again, in essence, you then get your 2 crystals back. Nothing too crazy, you just lose the essence. They also have changes to the existing alchemy stones. So overall, we're getting some deletions. Effectively, the green, blue, and yellow grades are all disappearing. Also, the rough and polished are being removed, and the imperfect will now just be straight up a solid. Okay, sorry, daughter. The grades of existing alchemy stones is being adjusted, so overall we're seeing some downgrades on the current red crystals being pushed down to yellow. This is because they should be red or purple in the higher levels. This is if you combine them, they then turn into purples and reds and yellows. Nothing too crazy. Overall, we also have some changes on the market, so the prices are increasing a little bit for the higher end alchemy stones. You can definitely check these out, but overall, making them is a smart choice yourself. The alchemy stone growth is also being merged into one, so the polishing and growth, and it will get an ancient anvil system. Crown stones are no longer needed. This was a big contentious subject. Overall, we can now see the success rate as well. So the growth and success rate and number of essences required for each enhancement are shown here. So the imperfect solid is 55% with an aggro essence of 2 only, 2 essences needed per tap. In the case of solid to sharp, it's a 20% chance with 5 aggro essence and 3. Then we have sharp to resplendent, should be 3.31 with a 30 aggro essence and 10 sky needed every time. So you should be able to get 2 taps a week. And then we have the resplendent to splendid being 1.25% with an aggro essence of 80 and 20 taps. So 1 tap a week if you save it up. And then we have the splendid to shining at 0.4. This is up about 1% from the previous one, but the aggro essence is still at 250 with 30 essences of full sky required a week. Actually, sorry, it's 120 essences of full sky per week. So overall, you do get a few taps. This should still be 2.5 years to fully get the Splendid to Shining at a pity. But then again, at 0.4, the chance is low, but you should get it beforehand unless you're unlucky. Also, when using the Vel's Crystal Powder to charge Destruction, Protection, or Life Alchemy Stones, the amount charged has been improved to be greater than before, and it has been changed so that all Alchemy Stones can be charged. Accordingly, the description is going to be adjusted, and a phrase related to the Alchemy Stones has been added to the Agris Essence. Then we have another big thing. The Mirumok Dhekia and Gyfin Dhekia are now here. So the power of the void illuminated by the Dhekia's lantern has begun to consume even the ancient weapons deep within the forest. Exposed to the void, the ancient weapons of Mirumok have become more ferocious. Let's take a look at the numbers. So we're looking at an AP of 350 or more and a DP of 427 or higher. That is actually quite beefy. Based on the final ability, so the total AP should be at 1,565 with a limit of 1,595 or higher and a DP of 615. There are 2 locations available, it seems, at the Mirumok location. Nothing too crazy there. The main loot are the evasion and damage reduction Dhekia relics, Deboreka belt, Void Touch whispers, and Forgotten Chest of Oblivion. That should be the Erethea token now. Then we also have the corroded wood pieces, which is the junk, well, trash loot at 101,500 silver. Then we also have the Gyfin Dhekia, which is an AP of 370 with a DP of 440. Total AP looking at 1,650 to start with a max limit of 1,680 and a DP of 715. There seem to be 3 locations, one to the north near the river, but probably up top. And then we have 2 more south. This does seem to be the Crusher locations almost. It again has the Dhekia relics, Deboreka belt, the Void Touch whispers, which should be the pity pieces, and then again the Eretheas. The loot is a little bit higher with 125,900 silver. The Void Stained Whispers that can be obtained from both locations can be exchanged. Oh, it's a new item for the Fragment of Angry Night. Oh, okay, so we're getting effectively an item, the Void Touch Whispers, now we know, is going to be exchangeable for the Elvia Serendia cup items. That is actually coming up right next to here. This is a market change. The cup items, the fragment of, well, the 3 fragments and the arid heart are all being able to be registered on the central market now. The minimum price will be 2.5 mil or 1.25 with a max price of 20 or 25 mil. This might, well, it'll probably throw up the cup market a little bit, but also make them a little bit more readily available. They're also improving the rewards for the Dark Rift, so with the Essences of the Sky being added, there's being some more added. So overall, it seems that the Blackstone of Dawn is going to be guaranteed now, with the 20 pieces as well per boss. 100 G gold bars being 8 to 10, and then also they're adding a bit of extra chance for a gold bar box and the 1 kg bar box with 1 to 2 pieces, so that's an easy 200, well, 100 to 200 mil, or maybe even more. And then on top of that, just another 100 mil, well, 80 to 100 mil in the 100 G gold bars. So overall, a slight increase of the money there. Then we have some other small changes for the Land of Morning Light bosses. Effectively, the Reforged stones are being, it looks like, re-rolled a little bit, or refreshed on the bosses. Nothing too crazy there. There's also a change to the resurrection if you die at a guild boss. So now if you die at a guild boss inside the, well, zone, you will be able to revive yourself inside the zone for free with no penalty, and you will be revived at full HP, so you no longer get kicked out when you resurrect at nearest. This change will only apply where the guild boss raid is active, so do respawn quickly. Then we have some Nodewar Conquest War improvements. So overall, the reward for the winning base battles has been increased. Here we can see some increases on the 10 kg gold bars, Essence of Courage, Essence of Glory, item acquisition, or loot scrolls. So here we see some slight increases across the board. We also see it for the Medaya and Valencia zone, Balenos and Serendia. And the reward for participating in the Stronghold War, or the Conquest War, have also been increased. However, they can still be earned by meeting the requirements for receiving the rewards, just as before. So here we can see Calphion and Kelma giving some lightning traces. Then we also have the Honorable KG gold bars increasing, and the Medals of Glory. Speaking of the Medals of Glory in a second, in general, they also increase the amount of gold bars awarded for victory and participation in occupation battles. So, increases on land node wars. Here we can have see the Brilliant Medal of Honor, which is replacing the previous, Medal of Glory, which is replacing the Brilliant Medal of Glory. Overall, we have some family exchanges. So we have the Secretive Keys of Balance for 500, Advice of Alks for 350, Stacks 300, 250, 200. This is a bit crazy that they're getting 350s, but hey, there's also some titles in there, 5 titles being placed. They seem to be permanent. And then we have a weekly exchange of Cronstones twice a week, 500. Marnie's Fuel, the Sturdy Forest Thread, Immortal Oils, Loot Scrolls are still remaining. And then we have a permanent exchange for gold bars or perfumes. The number of Medals of Glory that can be obtained from each reward box in the War of the Roses are also being adjusted. So this change will apply to reward boxes obtained after the regular maintenance on January 14th and 15th. You obtain a Brilliant Medal of Honor from an existing reward box and exchange it through the Unified Goods. During the regular maintenance in February, the prices of the existing Brilliant Medal of Honor, including the contents of openable boxes, will be changed to 300 seals of reward per piece. Here we can see, again, number of medals for unlimited, being, in the case of a victory 80 pieces, Guild Alliance that is not a Castle Lord at the time of liberation, 45, defeat 40, Stage 2 occupation, we're looking at 75, 75, 40, 35, and Stage 1, we're looking at 70, 70, 35, 35. And in the case of War of Roses, it seems if you're on the main team, it's 65, 45, 45. In the case of the victory, liberation, or defeat. And then in the third core, you're looking at 65, 45, and 45. So even if you are not participating in Node Wars, you can definitely get an access to that 350 stack every once in a while if you just continue with Node Wars. I mean, in the case of victory, you're at 65, and we need 250. So it's not too bad to reach that. There's also a small adjustment for the Guild Tactics Manual. So effectively, you had to spend Medals of Honor. The skills acquired through the Guild Tactics Manual will be deleted. The following measures will be taken accordingly. So for each character in the family that has learned the skills will be deleted and the skill points used will be returned. If you've acquired any of them, the acquisition status of the skills registered will also be reset. If you acquired a skill that is being deleted, the Brilliant Medal of Honor item will be returned to you in the Unified Goods UI according to the skill level. So you get 20, 70, 170, 320, or 520. And if the following items exist in the bag, warehouse, or mount bag, and back of a character within the family, they will be deleted and returned as well, which is effectively the books themselves. Small tiny change on Blue Battlefield. When the Blue Battlefield starts, gathering at Elvia Village, the location has been changed from in front of the Wharf Manager to in front of the Blue Marlin Tavern. Also, during the Blue Battlefield, when resurrecting in Elvia Village or Ilia, you will no longer be resurrected near the water. Then we have a small change for the boats as well. The control keys for the cabin opening will be changed from Shift E to Shift X. And in the Carrack, it has been changed so it activates without inputting Shift when performing other interactions, which is Z, X, C, or V. Then we have some small improvements being made when attempting to use the, well, Dream Horse Awakening, the Dream Mythical Horse Awakening, and the Dream Calling incense material can be automatically registered. So the mythical sensor. However, once you register a Dream Horse, it will be only maintained until you disconnect, reconnect, or move to another server. So it seems you can effectively just spam this now. The name of the Dream Horse is not automatically registered. It must be entered manually each time. And you can change to another Dream Horse by pressing the buttons on the portrait, the one up here. And the number of Dream Calling sensors has been improved, so it can be checked in the Dream Attempt UI. So you should be able to check how many you have. Just enter the name and switch up here. So no longer opening and closing the UI. Then we have another small change for that did get mentioned. The View Other Classes skills is being added. Effectively, they're adding a button at the bottom. It'll pop up with a class list. You can select the class and see another class's list. The skill slot settings, reuse cooldown settings, and Black Spirit Rage Lock setting functions, which were previously located at the bottom of the skill window, have been integrated into a single skill settings button as well. Also, when the Adana's Blessing is activated in Orbita and Zephyros, the effect color has been changed to a color that better matches the concept of each castle, effectively a orange and purple, and the colors of the basic UI for the Adana's Blessing have been modified to be slightly darker. And with that, we're already in the fixes and changes. It's been a long one. So there was an issue with the ability to change into the costume exclusive to the New Moon costume shop stored in the Merv Bank while underwater was not functioning properly. The fishing-related descriptions in the My Information Life tab have been revised to allow you to set the grade that can be released even when fishing manually. The issue where the 2 flags of invincibility were installed simultaneously during base and occupation battles has been fixed. Also an issue where quick slots would be used when repeatedly pressed multiple shortcuts in the Crocodile Sanctuary UI. After setting up the navigation while sailing, the issue where the distance to the destination was not displayed when disabling the defense judgment effect apparently has been fixed. An issue where characters would get stuck in the castle walls when moving to Odalida Castle from the world map has a fix. Also, certain effects of the wilderness golems were not displayed during the gimmick of the guild boss Mogulis. They also fixed an issue where sounds would not be heard when moving too far away from the guild leader Mogulis and Org. Then an issue where the message "you cannot enter Marnie's secret room" would appear when attempting to enter a black shrine at a guild boss subjugation site has been fixed. Also an issue where the party hunting icons were missing in the hunting ground for the Olden Valley Dhekia 2 and Dhekia 1. Also an issue where Ancient Anvil of the Tuvala Soul item was applied with values prior to the regular maintenance. Accordingly, if you strengthened your item beyond the Ancient Anvil level, they will provide you with the used goods via a letter on the maintenance. Also an issue where the description of the prerequisite quest for the quest Gathering Don't Starve was incorrect has been corrected. And then we have some pad mode fixes. One for the description displayed when activating or deactivating the Gathering Green Thumb. When selecting Blackstones, crystallize the spare or primordial Blackstones to increase the fail stack. And they fixed an issue where the key guide in the item transfer description of Marnie's suspicious device was abbreviated. With that, we're in the TLDR. Overall, darker color's nice. The see other skills, definitely good while you're fishing or something. Small change on the Crocodile Sanctuary. It's nothing too crazy. Same for the door. The return of the Medal of Honor is pretty nice. Can't really complain. I also like the fact that the third core in War of the Roses getting a good amount of medals. I was a bit worried that would be not high enough. Nodewar obviously getting a lot more, but then again, they deserve it. They are mainly partaking in this content. Then we also have the Reform Stones being expanded, it seems. It's nothing too crazy. I feel like most of them are on market except for the popular ones. Increase on the Dark Rifts, definitely can't complain. Market registration for the shards. This is going to throw up the market quite a lot. I mean, it's great, but maybe try to sell your cups now before they absolutely crash. Gyfin Dhekia, it looks fine. Sure, the Void Touch Whispered, bit of a surprise that it's exchangeable for Elvia. Well, Serendia Elvia items. It would have been nicer to just force people to go to the older spots and at least enjoy a bit of older content instead of just making it completely obsolete. But I know I'm very much in the minority there. Vel's Powder change is great. The Alchemy Stone change being pulled forward a little bit, also a really nice change. Otherwise, nothing too grand. We already know most of this now. All the changes, I'm surprised Seraphim is still getting this many changes. There seems to be some stuff wrong with that class, but it seems to be mostly just combination and combos. The Suction on Nova getting a buff, I don't know if this is really necessary. It feels a bit over the top, but I think the main point is that you don't get ping pong between two of those orbs. Overall, I feel the Suction change wasn't the greatest, but if this is what they say they want to do, then that's what they want to do. We're going to have to see how this goes. And with that, I wish you the absolute best of luck in everything you do in BDO, and I will see you around.